Hi there, Dom from the running room. Are you a runner that's experiencing pain at the back or the base of your heel? You might be suffering from an Achilles tendinopathy. Have you got pain first thing in the morning for the first few minutes when you wake up? Are those first few steps out of bed nice and uncomfortable? Have you got pain on impact when you're running, and pain that just doesn't seem to warm up or go away? What we want to do today is we're going to demystify some of the common myths around Achilles tendinopathy and give you some really evidence-based guidelines on how you can actually treat it and get on top of it so you can continue to run. So we know that with running, your calf complex is going to take up to 6 to 8 times your body weight with each footstep. So a really nice thing to do, particularly in the early phase that you've been diagnosed with an Achilles tendinopathy, is actually to release that calf complex. The way that I like to do it is I get a nice foam roller and I just start to explore the calf. So I'll come over onto this outside edge. I'll see if there's any sore or stiff areas. And again, if I can find anywhere that's a little bit uncomfortable, what I'll do is I'll just hang out in there for 30 to 60 seconds until I feel a nice release. You can work over into the inside part of your calf. Same thing, find any of those tender spots and just hang out in that position. If you're finding that this isn't providing enough release or stretch, what we can do is we can place the opposite foot over the top. And you can even do things like elevating your bum off the ground to get a really nice, deep, soft tissue release through this inside of the calf. So one of the key strategies to getting you a great outcome is to building better strength around the foot, calf, and the Achilles complex. When your calf is potentially a little bit irritable and uncomfortable, a really nice early exercise we can do are what we call isometrics. They're a really easy thing you can do. You can do them almost anywhere. All you need is something to balance on. What you're going to do is you're going to come into this position. You're going to give yourself a little bit of balance, and you're just going to lift the heel about 1 inch off the ground. What you're going to do here is you're going to hold this position for 45 seconds minimum and then come back down. The good thing about isometrics is they start to load the tendon in a really non-irritable way, plus they have a really nice analgesic effect, meaning they're really good at calming down your symptoms. Once you've found that your pain is continuing to settle, it's below that sort of 2 out of 10 and it's not flared up after exercise, what we want to start to do is we want to add a little bit of external load. We know the thing with Achilles tendinopathies is they're chronically underloaded, meaning we don't give them enough stimulus. So when your pain permits, we actually want to transition to start doing really heavy, slow resisted calf raises. The way that we can do that is we can grab onto something nice and heavy here, like a kettlebell or a dumbbell. Give yourself a little bit of balance, and what you're going to do is you're going to start to come up onto your toes and back down on the heel. You want to make sure the emphasis here is to do them slow and heavy. So we're not rushing through the reps, and we want to make sure that they're sufficiently challenging. By the time you get to that 8th, 9th, 10th rep, you should be feeling like, okay, this is very difficult. Maybe you've got 1 or 2 left in the bank, but if you could do 10 reps or more, it's probably too easy still, so you want to progress that. The next one we're going to go into is what's called bent knee calf raise. This challenges a slightly different muscle. It challenges the soleus. That's the prime mover when we're running. It's the workhorse, so we want to make sure that's nice and strong too. Very, very similar. All we do is we come into this position. What you can do is you can bend this knee, and then the same thing. You want to keep the same consistent angle of your knee, and it's just the ankle that's moving. So you can even see here with not a huge amount of load, these are quite challenging. Same thing, you're going to go 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps until you're feeling like that calf's getting a nice workout. So there's some of our top tips and tricks to get on top of an Achilles tendon, but we haven't spoken about the elephant in the room yet, load management. One of the biggest things that's going to contribute to getting a great outcome is really managing how much training load you do. One thing that we might do is we might consider changing some of the ways that you're training, whether that be we change the terrain that you're running on or we pull back some of the intensity. So if you are suffering with an injury or a niggle that you just can't seem to get on top of, we've helped thousands of runners online and in our clinics across Sydney, London and Melbourne. So if you're looking for some expert level advice, come into the clinic and we can help you get on top of your injury now.